All right, so welcome to a brand new series. I'm calling this one Switch Sunday Recap, at least for now, because I know it's not the most original name. In fact, it's very crap, let's face it, but it gets the job done. And the concept of this video, super simple. So it's a simple name for a simple result. Perfect. But like every week, I'm rounding up Nintendo news stories that caught my eye. Some are going to be big, some are going to be weird, some are just kind of cool. So yeah, basically, if I paused, I scrolled back, or I said, what the hell is that? It made the cut. And this week, I've got 10 stories for you all. And yes, it is going to be kind of Switch 2 heavy this week, but we're going to be talking things like pre orders and new trailers. But I do want to say here as well, I do think there's going to be a few deep cuts that you probably haven't seen because, look, let's be honest, everyone is glued to the first party headlines at this moment, which is completely fair. It's a new system, all eyes are on it. They want to see the Marios and the Zeldas. Me too. But I also love some third party and indies as well. So I want to throw in those stories as well. And look, yes, going forward, there's a good chance I'll be dropping dedicated uploads when big stuff breaks, directs, game reveals, that kind of thing. But for now, this just felt like a fun way to stay caught up without doing 8-minute deep dives on every single bloody announcement, wasting your time, wasting my time. So if you do enjoy this, do me 3 quick favors, like the video, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Now I know it's a big ask, but it actually helps channels like mine way more than you think. It tells the algorithm gods, hey, maybe this lad's actually doing something alright. And that's really how this series grows with your help. So anyways, look, ramble over, new week, new stories, let's get into it. Alright, so I think the big news of the week has to be Switch 2 pre-orders beginning April 24th for those of you in the US and Canada. Now, Canada, unfortunately, got kind of sucked up into this whole tariff issue, but Nintendo have come back now and they've confirmed the console price remains the same. So that is great news for everybody in the US. $450 for the base model, $500 with Mario Kart World, which I would strongly suggest, honestly. It seems the big change has basically been with the accessories. So increases have been made there, anywhere from $5 to $10. So the Joy-Con 2 now are somewhere in the region of $95, which just sounds insane. Pro Controller is $85, and the list goes on from there. Nintendo also did state that pricing may change post-launch due to market pressures, and I feel that actually makes sense. Look at the PS5. The PS5 just had its second price increase since launch. That was on the, specifically now, the digital model, but I think it's very much painting the picture of the current market. So I would not be surprised if Nintendo get through the Christmas period of this year, 2025, and then do look into seeing that price increase. I think they just need to establish that core player base first of all. So I think this was definitely a smart move on their part, and hopefully everyone out there manages to get that pre-order in. It was definitely bloody challenging here in the UK. I ended up going physical, in-store, doing a pre-order at Curry's. I would suggest the same thing for those of you in the US. It seems GameStop's going to be the best option because they are doing midnight launches as well, and for a console launch, that's just going to be great fun. I don't think I've ever been to a console of midnight launch, done tons of games, so I can just imagine the buzz at all of these different, retail locations. All right, next up then, we've got Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, this is sort of a rumor, I guess, but basically PEGI, who do all of the ratings, if you go to their homepage right now, I'm going to put a screenshot here in the video for you all, it does say it's been rated for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I don't think this comes as a surprise. Ubisoft have been a major third-party support for the Nintendo Switch. They're continuing that trend. They've got Star Wars Outlaws coming up. I've actually got some news on that one later in the video. But yeah, there's no footage yet, obviously. It's not actually been officially confirmed, but it's not surprising. I've been playing the game on PS5. I thought it was great fun, honestly. It's kind of like modern meets old school in a sense. Valhalla, the last kind of big entry. The open world was huge. I thought it was overwhelming. There was a ton of activities. This one, we have multiple playable characters. One's like stealthy, kind of old school. One is like a heavy, kind of slow, honestly, not my favorite personally. But yeah, it seems to remember its roots a little bit, and the setting is very cool. It's had tons of controversy around it, but when you do go into this game, you actually get the option to play canon, what would be considered realistic to a certain extent, or non-canon. And it seems that everybody that is making complaints are literally just clicking non-canon and then going in there, finding something they hate, and of course getting online and complaining about it. And bless them. They've got that much time on their hands. They're playing games they hate. I would not want that existence. All right, just a quick one here then. The Joy-Con 2 sticks, not Hull effect, but apparently feel fantastic. Now, This has been confirmed, and I know a lot of folks were really hopeful that would be the case because Switch 1 obviously had its issues with drift. I've actually been one of the lucky ones over the years, plowed in thousands of hours on my console personally, never once had drift. So yeah, funny how it works out. Unfortunately, it just seems roll of the dice, one of those situations. But apparently these new sticks feel fantastic, smoother, sturdier, quieter. It seems they might have nailed the feel without going magnetic. If you do want to learn more about the Joy-Con 2 and especially the new Pro controller, my friend Drip Media Gaming has a couple of videos on both of those things. So I will link those in the description down below. He went hands-on recently at the New York Nintendo event and definitely knew how can I put this? He knew how to push both controllers to get a good feel of whether we're going to see any issues in the future. Alright, so Star Wars Outlaws and DLC in fact confirmed for Switch 2. Now the release date, most importantly, is September the 4th. This was actually announced during the Star Wars Day Japan Festival. It's an open world Star Wars game on a Nintendo console. I seem to be picking games here that had their controversy. This one, I think it was because it was a female lead character, something along those lines. I was part of the initial wave of press, influencers, media, whatever you want to call them. They got hands-on pre-release, and I did it via streaming, and then I got the actual physical release of the game as well. Really enjoyed it. Like, it is an open world experience, and what that means is the game's going to have bugs, but again, we have folks kind of very much hardcore hunting those bugs so they can make little like videos out of it on TikTok saying like, oh, look how crap it is. I'm sorry, like, the game is bloody massive. There's going to be clipping, there's going to be issues. When they release GTA, the new one, I guarantee you there's going to be a ton of bugs in there. They can't find everything. It's just impossible. What I think matters with this game is it's fun. At launch, it had its issues with the stealth segments. They were just bloody difficult. The enemies could basically see you through walls at this point, and they would kill you in seconds. They've started to dial that back a little bit now in regards to patches, and those patches are still coming. But there's also going to be a DLC, A Pirate's Fortune, that's dropping May 15th. So my anticipation here is we'll see the Switch 2 release September 4th. And whether we'll get that DLC immediately on the same day is, I guess, left to be seen. I wouldn't be surprised if they have like a standard edition at like, I mean, God knows, like $70, £70, whatever it may be. And then there's probably going to be an Ultimate Edition with it either included or at least a download code for it to be claimed in the future when it does eventually arrive on Switch 2 hardware. But I think this will be another really good test for the hardware. It's again, a fun game. If you like Star Wars, there's really no reason to not play it, in my opinion. It takes you to some really cool locations. It's just fun to explore the world, and the characters and the story, decent. It's not going to win any awards, in my opinion, but you will have fun if you like the series. If you don't like Star Wars, look, don't come here. It's not going to win you over. But yeah, Star Wars Outlaws, Switch 2. Alright, now a game called Spine. This is coming from a developer called Neki. They've just announced it will be coming to the Switch 2, and it's essentially a cyberpunk action game, cinematic single-player experience with a whole lot of martial arts combat and kung fu. If you've played something like Sifu, then I'm kind of hoping for an experience somewhat similar to that. It's definitely got a more cartoony aesthetic in comparison, but the trailer they've released, I think it looks decent. I will say the devs, I don't really know. They made a game called Shadow Fight. It seems that they've been, for the most part, focused on Apple and Android games rather than console. So this may be their kind of, I don't know, first step into the spotlight, I guess. But yeah, what started as a multiplayer experience is now a cinematic single-player game. It's basically John Wick, I guess would be the easy comparison. It's really going to rely on how the gun fu, as they call it, really kind of performs. How are the controls? They're also touting a hardcore mode as well, which sounds very interesting. Basically, you cannot take any damage at all. So if you take a single hit, it is game over. So that's definitely going to be for the hardcore few out there. But yeah, I love games like Sifu. I love the style of this experience. It looks really interesting. It's all going to come down to the responsiveness of the gameplay, in my opinion. But definitely a game worth keeping an eye on. And now we've got the official announcement for Switch 2. Definitely one to be excited for. All right, Paul Rudd is back. He is returned for a Switch 2 ad in the style of his SNES commercial that released all the way back in 1991. So what's that now? 34 years? God, I'm getting old. But yeah, in the first trailer, it didn't do much in the way of speaking. This one is basically adopting all of the lines in the original trailer. Nintendo of America actually put both trailers online. It's really funny to watch them back to back, so I definitely suggest it. But the whole concept of the video is promote game chat. You're only going to see here Mario Kart World. It shows the UI, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. It looks nicer, it looks cleaner, but what I really want to see is someone click on the bloody eShop and show me that it actually functions, that it scrolls, that it has filters, that it has options, because God knows after this system do we need it, and we're actually launching this system with thousands upon thousands of games. So if we have another eShop that is a nightmare, it could just be absolutely, like, I don't know, brutal. I don't want to scroll through, and I do bloody deals videos every single week, so I don't know why anyone else would, want to spend their time there. Ninja Gaiden, a Ragebound trailer. Specifically, we got a Komori reveal, a new character. Now here, we're not playing as Ryu, we're playing as Kenji, because this story actually runs alongside the original trilogy. So when Ryu's going off to America, Kenji is basically protecting and cleansing Hayabusa village of demons that have invaded. Now, what's really interesting about this trailer is I'm a massive fan of the original trilogy, and the Black Spider clan are like big nemesis, basically, of Ryu and company. But Komori, this new character, is a member of the Black Spider clan. In fact, it shows gameplay where someone's invading the HQ, their location, and we're fighting back. From what I can tell, it appears she dies because she becomes some sort of spirit, and she's going to be helping Kenji on this journey. So I'm really curious to see the narrative behind this. Like, why is she helping? What is Kenji's involvement? How does it tailor to the gameplay? It seems she helps with puzzles, things like that. But really high hopes for this game. It's top 10 for me this year. I love Ninja Gaiden. The original trilogy is in my top 10 games of all time. We've got 3 games coming this year. We've had Black already. We've got this one, and then we've also got Ninja Gaiden 4 as well. So really exciting times for this character. About time they got some love and respect. But yeah, I'd be quietly hopeful with this one. It's coming from Dotemu, who are publishing. They did Streets of Rage 4, TMNT, so you know they've got a good eye. And then the developers, it's actually the team that made Blasphemous. And Blasphemous 1 and 2 were fantastic, really hardcore Metroidvanias. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is linear levels, that has been confirmed. It is an action platformer. But I think if anyone's going to take it to a new level, it's that team. And one thing I will say is IGN just did a very early preview of the game, and they did confirm they didn't see any anime kind of cutscenes, any of that good stuff. It is all pixel arted, in my opinion. It's exactly what Ninja Gaiden should be. So yeah, day one buy, no doubt about it. New trailer looks awesome. Gameplay looks awesome. Incredible team behind it. I have no complaints. All right, so here's a quick one for you as well. Shotgun Cupman, demo now live. The full release is going to be May 1st. It's a weird little looking game, and it is basically Devolver Digital. It's their new action platformer, we'll call it. It's from the My Friend Pedro developer, and if anyone's played that, it's kind of a gunplay, acrobatics, action platformer, kind of a similar ilk here. It's 150 levels, or 150 plus, in fact. It's all about the physics, and you're basically using the shotgun, your pistol, and different guns you're picking up in this environment to project yourself around different obstacles, different challenges. The demo is already hard as nails, honestly. Really good fun, though, watching you sip all over the place. And the story is as batshit crazy as it gets, basically. Your job as Shotgun Cupman is you are going to hell to basically kill or arrest, I can't remember what it says, the devil. But yeah, check out the demo. Crazy stuff, really unique cutscenes, really unique looking character. I will be playing it day one, May 1st. I'm also actually going to probably drop a video here on the demo in the next few days as well, because I do think it needs some love, it needs some attention. It's super cheap as well. It's like $10 in the US, so I imagine like, I don't know, 6-7 quid in England, probably 10 euros in America. Australia is probably like 100 or something, whatever. They go crazy with their prices over there because currency conversion. Nah, it's probably like, what, call it like 15 to 20 for Australia. But yeah, Shotgun Cupman, really fun stuff. Definitely worth taking a look at if you're into that kind of brutal challenge. You like a little bit of the physics platforming. Just, yeah, don't come here for an easy time. If you get frustrated easily, I can tell you already. 15 levels in, not the game for you. All right, Rune Factory Guardians of Asuma just made the whole cartridge situation way more confusing. I think the big screw up for Nintendo with this Switch 2 announcement has been how the hell do the cartridges work? We have these ones that are like keycard ones, we have the standard cartridges, we have digital games. What the hell is what, basically? Now, Guardians of Asuma, my understanding was, and I think for many the understanding was, Switch 2 cartridges wouldn't necessarily work on Switch 1, they'd have different versions. the developers here for Rune Factory have said 1 cartridge, 2 versions, works on both Switch 1 and Switch 2. Whichever console you basically plug it into, the cartridge basically knows which system it is and pushes that version of the game forward. So it includes both the Switch 1 game as well as what is essentially going to be the Switch 2 upgrade patch, which is, I think they're going to be billing like $10 for that on release. But yeah, it's going to include enhanced visuals and performance. It looks lovely, this game. It's just, and I will definitely be checking it out day one again, but I just think it's really interesting that it's 1 cartridge, 2 versions going to be working on both Switch 1 and Switch 2. So I'm curious to see, like, if some cartridges only work on Switch 2 and some work on both systems, how the hell are they going to even identify this information to us on the packaging? Is it going to be something to do with the labeling? I just really going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But yeah, this is according to the devs. Maybe there's some confusion there. I don't know. But yeah, Rune Factory is working on both systems, 1 cartridge. So I would prefer that for all games personally, but I guess it's going to depend on, I don't know what it would depend on. Maybe the space, what's needed. I don't know. Is it the shape of the cartridges? It's a really funny situation we're in right now where Nintendo could really do with, in my opinion, just sitting down, write out like a tweet or anything, or a 30-second video and just give us the lowdown on what the hell is the cartridge situation. The last story then, we're getting a little bit kind of, well, a little bit very, very niche here. BitBoy Arcade 2 is announced for the Switch 2, that is. It's a cool classic, apparently. It was on the 3DS 2014. I can't say I've ever played it, but I just enjoyed watching the trailer, transparently, because it was in 4K. Nintendo has started to do 4K trailers now, but still they surprised me with, like, they did a Street Fighter 6 trailer the other day and did not put it in 4K. It makes no sense. But anyway, it's a platformer. It's going to be a surprise drop for the old school fans out there. It's got HD visuals, local co-op, apparently. The trailer as well, it's very basic in its design. There's no question about that. But when you watch something in 4K, Switch 2, like, it is really nice to see smooth edges, that high resolution, really good lighting effects. And I think it is nailing those areas, and it's definitely kind of screaming this would probably struggle on Switch 1. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. I'm sure it has its fan base. If you played BitBoy, I presume it's called BitBoy Arcade on the 3DS, let me know. Is it a good game? Is it really a cool classic? Because, you know, press release is always going to say it's a cool classic. Is that true? I'll let the audience decide. But yeah, BitBoy 2 looks interesting, looks unique, looks kind of cool. I'll probably be checking it out. And that is the stories of this week. 10 of my favorites. I think there's a really nice mix of new demo, new Switch 2 hardware, confusion around cartridges. What more could we really want from a week? You know, that's a strong week in itself, isn't it? But yeah, look, if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, subscribe. I'm hoping to do these every single Sunday if they do find an audience. And if you do enjoy them, again, please let me know. And yeah, I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers all.